And now joined us here on the Inland Sports Show, fresh off a trip to the CIF State Meet in girls wrestling. It is Paloma Valley, the Wildcats, bringing home a third-place finish at the state championship meet up in Bakersfield. They're also a CIF Southern Section champion. We got a bunch of the stud wrestlers joining us here. But let me first go to Coach Luis Robles. Coach Robles, congrats, man. Paloma Valley is turning into a girls wrestling powerhouse. What's your secret to having continued success and doing so well at the state meet, a third place finish?
Well, it's been a great ride. It's been amazing. We knew, we had a chance to win CIF, but kind of Masters and state, we were just hoping that if our individuals placed well, we do really well. And we ended up doing well. We finished top 5 at Masters, which, kind of made me think it'd be tough to be in the top 5 at state, but we had a tremendous state meet, finished the top 3. But I mean, honestly, the secret is we just practice hard and we focus on the postseason. And I know you said girls wrestling, but we really focus on just wrestling because our boys wrestling team is also really good. And that's our big thing in our room is we're all wrestlers. We just all focus on becoming the best wrestlers we can. We don't say the girl wrestlers or the boy wrestlers. We just wrestle.
Hey, Coach, before we get to some of your grapplers here, but what do you think about the popularity of girls wrestling right now? Because I feel like it's growing exponentially year by year. It's just getting more and more popular. And I don't know, maybe even the level of wrestling is getting better from year to year. What's kind of your take on girls wrestling right now?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is just the state of California is the toughest state, I think, in the nation. And it's been getting more and more popular. COVID kind of made it take a hit. And that's what we all thought until we got to the state meet. But honestly, the state meet was one of the most competitive it's been in years. There was a lot of major upsets, which usually when that happens, it means the level's rising because it's not just, these 2 girls at every weight are just going to walk through everybody. I mean, there was world team members that lost this last weekend. And even some of our girls, we outplaced or beat girls that were ranked nationally in our weight class. So it's risen. I think it's just become really popular sport in California because other states are still trying to play catch up to us. I mean, I think MMA has helped a lot. You see a lot of MMA gyms starting to promote wrestling on the side. You're starting to see a lot of clubs grow. I know some of our girls train at other clubs, and the club scene has really grown in the past couple of years. So it's helped grow the sport just kind of at a local level, which then has helped it grow at a state level and obviously at a national level as well.
All right, very good, Coach. Let's get to some of your wrestlers as well. She finished at third place at 137 pounds, Reyna Montenegro. And Reyna, I wanted to ask you about going to the state meet. Did you have any expectations going into the state meet? Like Coach said, some highly ranked wrestlers were knocked off, and I think you made a great run up there in Bakersfield. Did you have any goals or expectations going into the state meet, and what do you think about a third place finish?
Well, my goal since before season started was to be state champ. Obviously, that didn't happen, but I am pretty satisfied with the results, but I'm still chasing for something higher than that. Yeah.
So what is higher than that, Reyna? What's next?
Well, right now, next I have national level tournaments, so hopefully national champ or anything closer to that, as close to that, hopefully.
Coach had just mentioned that he feels like the state of California is, wrestling at a very high level, on the girls' side. Do you feel like just going to the CIF state meet and some of the girls that you went up against kind of prepared you and maybe a good tune-up to go to nationals and who knows, like you said, maybe win a national championship?
Yeah, no, definitely. The number 1 seed is a national champion. And a lot of the girls that were at the state meet, they were at Fargo, which is a national level tournament. And a lot of them either placed or won it. So California definitely is the state for girls wrestling. We actually won Fargo as a team. So.
All right, well, very good, Reyna. And Reyna is one of the seniors here for the Wildcats. Janelle Gomez, also a senior at 143, also qualified for the state meet. And she got the what was it? I want to get this right. Victory with honor, I believe. And correct me if I'm wrong, Janelle. Is that the name of the award? And what did you think when you got it? And why do you think you got it?
Wait, you broke up a little bit on my part?
Oh, okay, yeah, no, the Victory with Honor Award. What do you think you did at the state meet in Bakersfield that the organizers were like, you know what, she deserves this award? What do you think you did well up in Bakersfield?
Well, actually, Rose can probably explain that to you a little better than I can, because it wasn't what I did at the state meet. It was kind of like what I went through my whole season. So he could explain that better than I can.
but you know what? Maybe you can give us a snapshot. What was your season like? Was it hard just to get to the state meet and qualify for Bakersfield? Did you have some ups and downs along the way?
Oh yeah, this season was just a huge roller coaster. I had a lot of bumps in the roads. I was surprised I even made it to state, because I was almost certain that I wasn't even going to start this season. So I had a lot of personal issues going on that highly affected my wrestling and honestly, like me personally. So yeah, that's kind of why I got what's it called?
The Victory with Honor.
Victory with Honor. This is.
Well, Coach, let me go back to you then on this one. What can you say about Janelle and the kind of season that she had? And it sounds like she's very deserving of this award.
She's definitely deserving. I was really happy that that there was a place to get her in, because there was about a handful of girls and a handful of boys that got it. She dealt with a lot of personal adversity the whole year. Like she said, I mean, I'll be honest too. I there were times I didn't know if Janelle was going to be able to complete tournaments. Or even complete the season, but she battled with a lot of heart. And when you look at kind of the grind she even did at CIF, Masters, and then even at State, she had a lot of matches that could have broke her. And a lot of it is personal stuff that she had with going on that were totally out of her control. And for her to overcome that, if everybody knew, what she went through, I mean, most people would say, if she didn't complete the season, it would be acceptable, but she chose not to. And she battled and she helped us win the CF title. She got back to the state meet and then scored a lot of points. Making the top 12 still scores a ton of points. And like we said, California is so tough that top 12 would have been, top 3 in probably 40 other states. So what she did was pretty amazing.
Well, Coach, we talked to your two seniors. Before we get to your two juniors that are going to join us here on this interview, the cupboard's not bare, obviously, right? It sounds like you've got some wrestlers coming back, so you want to obviously keep this thing going, right? Talk about maybe some of the wrestlers you have coming back and maybe pursue another CIF and state title run.
Well, definitely. I mean, we definitely think we're the big thing with us at Paloma, we're always chasing the CIF title, so that's going to happen, right away. We're going to be back to work next week, and we do bring back 2 state placers in Michaela and Carissa, which we really felt they could have competed for a state title this year, and obviously, they fell a little bit short, but we think with that 7th in state, they're definitely going to go into next year's tournament seated high, and we're expecting them to compete for a state title, which that's going to score a ton of points. And I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but we think we're going to compete for a state title next year. That's going to be our goal, as well as winning CIF. We just got to get more girls out, but we do have some girls that maybe didn't even get out of CIF this year, but won some matches that we think with the work ethic that, that they're hopefully going to have in the next few months, we can make a run at CIF, Masters, and state again.
All right, Coach. So let me go to some of these wrestlers. I'll go with Carissa. Carissa at 111, Carissa Turnwall, and Carissa. Having got to the state meet and finishing in 7th place, does it make you more hungry to prepare for next season, knowing how successful you guys were this year? I don't want to downplay that because you guys had a great year, but how close you were to maybe even, like Coach said, win a state championship, or for you, finish in the top 3, or maybe even a state individual championship. Does it make you hungry now for next year even more?
For sure. I think that I should have done better at that state meet, but I wrestled my hardest, and I wanna place higher next year for sure.
What do you think you could have done differently?
I would say I could have wrestled smarter and not have made some of the mistakes that I did make, which costed me to fall back a little bit. But I mean, it's all part of getting better and cleaning up those mistakes and doing better for next year.
No, you're absolutely right. So, Coach was saying, what, like a week off, and then you're right back, I guess, in the wrestling room getting ready for next year. Are you anxious to get back in the wrestling room and start practicing again?
Yeah, it honestly feels really weird, like not going to practice. So, yeah.
Carissa, what was it like? You know, 'cause I was telling Coach, I don't know if you were already on Zoom for this, but you know, I was in Bakersfield for 8 years and covered the wrestling, you know, state meet. And it's awesome. It's a big 10,000 seat arena, and the place is loud, and there's people all over the place. What did you think of the environment? Did you kind of embrace it like, oh man, this is the big time now. I really got to show out. Like, what did you think of just the whole environment?
I had a really good time. I like that I was like surrounded by greatness. You're just like surrounded by like a lot of good wrestlers. And it's just good to be in that environment and like wrestle there and try to be the best.
Yeah, that place is a lot of great wrestlers have come through there, including you guys now. Carissa, let me now go to Michaela Correa, one of your teammates at 121 pounds. And, you know, Michaela, like I asked Carissa about, you know, going there and experiencing that and having some success, does it make you excited to get back on the mat and try to build for something special next season? And who knows, maybe it does end with a team and individual state championship. Are you looking forward to that?
I'm totally looking forward to that. I'm so glad. Chris and I are actually drill partners, and I'm glad we are both juniors, so we will have each other next year to build each other up. And I know we both could have done a little bit better than what we did. We fell a little bit short of our goals, but I know it's only going to make us even stronger for next year because now we know we did that. You know, now that's the past. Now we have even bigger goals for next year.
You know, finishing in 7th place, Michaela, did you feel like, you know, going up against some of these other wrestlers, like you said, close matches, do you feel like at the end of the day you're like, you know what? We belong here. Like, they're not that much better than me. Like, you know, I'm going to come back next year, and I feel like I got a real shot to win the whole thing. Do you feel like you're that close?
Definitely. I feel like we were all that close. We work so hard, every single one of us, every day. Some of us even go to like 2-3 practices a day. So all that hard work we put in is starting to show, but we need to continue to put in that hard work so we could be at the state finals. You know,
Michaela, how do you and Carissa push each other in practice? You said you're drill partners. Like, I mean, do you guys go hard? I mean, how do you guys make each other better?
So we are not only drill partners, but we are best friends. So when we walk into that room, it's like, all right, we're drill partners, and sometimes we'll get mad at each other, and we will club each other. We will go ham. But by the end of practice, it's like we're fine again. You know, we know it's just wrestling. We don't really get our feelings hurt about it, and we know it makes us better. And I think that's what really helps us out, is also being so close and having such a close bond, knowing we could break each other at practice every day just to build each other back up. And it is truly amazing. Ever since she's been my drill partner this year, I just feel like my wrestling's taken off, and her wrestling too. She's like, from where she started to where she is now, it's amazing watching her.
You know, and I'm curious real quick before we wrap this up, and this could be for any of them, Carissa, Michaela, Reyna, or Janelle. You know, how are you first introduced to wrestling? Did Coach Robles recruit kids on campus? Did you have like a brother who wrestled? Like, this could be for anyone. How did you get involved in wrestling?
Anybody?
I think Michaela wants to answer. She seems like she's ready to go.
Janelle, you go first, and then I'll go after.
Okay. I did judo for about 8 years, and so going into high school, I wanted to do something relatively close to that, and so wrestling was like the closest thing to it. And so my dad kept on like pushing for it, and he was like, "Come on, try wrestling, do a practice." And so my first practice was, I think, in 8th grade, and I was at like the kids club with Robles or another coach. I can't really remember, but yeah, my dad got me into it.
And you liked it? You liked it from the very start?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so from judo to wrestling. How about you, Michaela?
So I'm the only girl And my mom's always pushed me to be this really girly girl. I was always in dance and cheer and volleyball. And so I've never really actually told this story, but I was getting bullied in middle school. And so my mom was just fed up with it because I'd come home bawling my eyes out. And she's like, you know what, you need some confidence. My dad was like, wrestling would really help her. And she finally let me like do what I wanted a little bit because she always made me wrestle or dance and stuff. So as soon as she gave me the okay to do it, Robles, my dad called up Robles and he was like, I'm gonna bring her in for the kids club. And ever since that day, I haven't stopped. I've been with Robles since 6th grade, and it's just been a journey since.
And it built that confidence? Like, was it?
It's built confidence. It's built a family. I've gained so much from wrestling that I can't even explain how much I appreciate it.
That's awesome. Reyna or Carissa, I mean, did you guys have a story how you were introduced to the sport?
Oh, go ahead, Reyna. Go ahead.
Okay. So I was actually, before Paloma Valley, I was actually at Hemet. And my coach's wife, Miss Barragon, they were running a club at my middle school. And I was in soccer at the time, but I told her I was interested in it because my dad always told me, like, I want you to do wrestling. Like, there's a program here in town, but I never could. And I remember my soccer coach was like, "Oh no, this is season. You can't go play soccer." And I didn't see Miss Barragon again until the ward assembly on the last day of school. And she met my dad, and she was like, "You need to take her to our high school practices this summer before season starts." And I went there, and ever since then, I just loved it, and I haven't just stopped going. Yeah, that's it.
That's awesome, Reyna. And then let's see, who are we missing? Is it Carissa? I think Carissa's the last one, right?
Yeah. My brother used to wrestle at Vista Marietta, and then he transferred to Paloma his senior year. So I knew that I was going to Paloma, and I always loved watching him wrestle. So when I would go and see him wrestle, I always thought it was really cool. And he tried to get me to join when I was in 7th grade, but I was like, no. But then I tried it out when I was in 8th grade. I really liked it. And he loves coming to my tournaments and watching me wrestle now that he's graduated.
And is he amazed how good you are now? I mean, you made it to the state meet. You finished in 7th place. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's really proud.
Well, that's great. That's awesome. Listen, ladies, thank you so much. Coach Robles, you're the best, man. You know you can always you always have a home here on the Inland Sports Show. And congratulations, guys. And, Coach, let's do this again soon.
Thanks, Pep. Appreciate it.
All right, that is Paloma Valley Girls Wrestling here on the Inland Sports Show. Thanks, guys.